This video is sponsored by NordVPN, a fantastic VPN service. Right now, you can go to nordvpn.com/HaloCanon and use coupon code HaloCanon at checkout to get an additional 4 months free when you purchase a 2-year plan. NordVPN has a number of useful features to enhance and protect your browsing experience, so stick around for more details. Well, y'all asked for it, and it's finally here. Just last Wednesday, 343 dropped a huge update on the state of Halo Infinite, featuring an intro from none other than Joe Staten himself. Featuring a ton of screenshots and statements from numerous employees on how the game has changed since the July demo, this update is packed with information. So, let's dive in. Starting things off, Joe reveals that Infinite is now slated for a fall 2021 release. I think most of us saw that coming, but now we have it confirmed. He goes on to talk about how, after being brought in after the July demo, the team discussed what needed to happen to respond to feedback from the community and ultimately decided on the delay. Along with more time to work, this would allow the development team to recharge over the holidays, coming back in January ready to take on finishing this game. I, for one, am glad to hear this. Besides Infinite just needing the extra time, it's good to see that employee health is being considered as well. From there, we get a couple of interviews on various aspects of the game, along with several screenshots giving us our first look at Infinite multiplayer. Starting things off is a discussion with art director Nicholas Sparth-Bouvier, director of art management Neil Harrison, and graphics team development manager Ani Shasti. Sorry if I got any of those pronunciations wrong. This section, looking at art and graphics, starts with discussing the July demo and the takeaways from that and the improvements made since then. In particular, they talk about how they have, and continue to make, improvements to various key features such as global illumination, shadows, volumetric lighting, and more. These improvements are very evident from the in-engine renders that accompany this update, which we'll talk about in a little bit. They also talk about how enemy facial animations have been implemented and improved, material fidelity worked on, and that they're working on brute hairdos and beards, which is just great to hear overall. I'm not the biggest fan of the naked brute idea, let me tell you. Sadly, the banished Phantom and all its issues go unaddressed, but, we can't get everything all at once, maybe down the line. The interview goes on to talk about the pipeline for Infinite, developing inside versus outdoor spaces and the unique challenges of both, and wraps up with some final words about how excited the team is to share more in the months ahead. And speaking of environments, let's now take a look at the images for a new multiplayer map. Starting with a wider shot, we see a lone Spartan in what looks like basic Mark 7 walking through a human facility, one owned by a company called Axis Hydroelectric. That's the first time this company has appeared in any lore, incidentally. The art direction is very reminiscent of Halo 3's human maps, featuring a lot of grime and wear. The facility in particular looks like it's broken down and in disrepair. Looking around the map, there are a few things that stand out, giving us some hints at how Halo Infinite's multiplayer may play and look. First, in the back, we have a weapon pad holding what might be an MA-40, but I'm not 100% certain. Regardless, it's clear to see that weapon pads like we have in Halo 5 will return. Closer in the foreground, we can see a power-up on the floor. It looks to have the same kind of disc shape of Halo 5's power-ups, and it has an icon above it. This icon to me seems to indicate that this is either active camo or maybe the passive camo system featured in Halo Shadows of Reach. Behind the Spartan in the Whirlpool Dam, we can see a pickup for the grapple shot, confirming that it'll be a pickup in multiplayer like 343 stated back in July. I speculated a lot that the armor features in Halo Shadows of Reach, such as the aforementioned passive camo, could be armor upgrades in campaign and possibly on-map pickups in multiplayer. I feel even more confident about that now. Perhaps most interesting of all is the large electric generator in the floor just above it, the recharge deck. We can see a number of stacks rising to the top, one in particular looking electrified. I can't help but wonder if this might be an interactive element of the map, specifically something like the electricity traps on Vortex in Halo 4. Interactive map elements are always great, and I hope they are indeed making a major comeback for Infinite. The update includes a second screenshot of the map, featuring again the Mark 7 Spartan, but also a second Spartan in George's armor, holding a BR-75 and sprinting. We'll talk a bit more about that armor a little later. And before we move on in the update, let's talk about the two weapon renders included, the M41 Spanker and the SRS-99 S7 sniper rifle. Both look graphically excellent to start, but the way they're presented has me wondering if we're seeing a preview of some kind of weapon customization screen. By that I mean something more along the line of skins than actually swapping out parts or anything, but this does kind of look like what one might expect on a customization hub, does it not? There are even slight differences in the placement of the Spartan and the warthogs in the background. The glowing blue particles seem to shift, as if this is all animated, which seems a bit much to do if you're just showing off some quick renders. I think there's even more evidence for a customization hub later on as we move from art to live support and customization. This time we have live team design director Ryan Paradis and lead progression designer Chris Blom. I hope I got those even remotely right. To start, let's talk about what a live team is and does. In short, the live team provides avenues for long-term engagement, ensuring healthy in-game ecosystems and communication between development teams and the community. They look for new ways for players to engage with the game, from challenges to achievements to rewards and more. Sometimes they hit the mark, sometimes new ideas require refinement or replacement. In short, it's a lot. Getting into the interview itself, after clarifying what the live team does, Ryan and Chris take some time to reiterate that loot boxes and random rewards will not be a part of Infinite, and that while there will be premium rewards, i.e. rewards that can only be obtained with real-world currency in some manner, there will be a ton to naturally unlock, be that from campaign, challenges, special events, and even more. In particular, the reward for hitting SR-152 in Halo 5 is finally revealed, an armor and weapon coating called Watchdog. While I'm still not excited at all about armor coatings, the design here does look pretty good. On that note though, they talk more about armor coatings, and it basically boils down to what detractors such as myself have been saying all along. Colors are controlled entirely by the coating, and the coatings are designed by the developers. To quote, "While this does mean losing some player control, it increases the depth of customization that we can achieve internally and that you can ultimately show off publicly." If you like what you're seeing from the coating system, good for you. However, let's drop the idea that 343 haven't taken color customization away from the player. That is absolutely what's happening here. Maybe the trade-off will be worth it, but I can't say it's looking that way in my mind. This is absolutely a trade-off for Infinite multiplayer being free to play, for better and for worse. The interview moves on to talk about customization, and they keep it pretty close to the chest for the most part. One thing that is touched on though is what exactly reach levels of customization actually means. Chris lists off all that was customizable in Reach: helmet, helmet attachment, chest gear, left and right shoulder pads, knee guards, wrist gear, utility, and visor color, noting that all of these will return, plus more. I've said this before, but I honestly think that Halo 4 had even better customization than Reach, allowing us to swap out forearms and leg gear and for entire armor sets to be swapped out, not just attachments laid on top of a base set of armor. I hope we get to see something like that in Infinite. The screenshots of armor included in this update do hint at a deeper customization, with different knee pads, chest pieces, vambraces, and even space diapers being shown in different pictures. So there is some hope. The update closes with a piece of concept art from Martin de Chambelt, a name I'm sure I butchered, with some closing words from Joe Staten about how excited he is, how passionate the team is, and how he's enjoying their vision for Infinite. Moreover, he mentions that this Inside Infinite update is the first of many to come, reassuring to many fans, I'm sure. And speaking of reassurances, do you want to feel assured that your browsing experience is as safe as possible? Then you should be looking at a VPN like NordVPN. NordVPN will double encrypt your data for security, features a cybersec suite that acts as an ad blocker, and with its over 5,000 servers across the globe, provides a connection as fast as it is secure. Right now, NordVPN has a special Christmas deal, giving an additional 4 months free when you purchase a 2-year plan. I've been using Nord for a few months now, and it's been an incredible experience. Want to see what Netflix has in other countries? Maybe you want to check out some Studio Ghibli films but don't have HBO Max? You can select your location and access content that might otherwise be unavailable to you. NordVPN has 24/7 customer service, and if you're unsatisfied, they offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to nordvpn.com/HaloCanon and use coupon code HaloCanon at checkout to get an additional 4 months free when you sign up for a 2-year plan. Again, that's nordvpn.com/HaloCanon with coupon code HaloCanon at checkout. Don't miss out on this opportunity. And now that the bills are paid, let's get back to Halo Infinite. The last thing I want to do today is talk about the armors and the coatings that were shown off. Previously, we've just been seeing a bunch of Mark 7 armors with different coatings, but today we got a little armor variety as well. First up, featuring this Scorpion Punch coating, is an armor set featuring the Anubis helmet in all its Gen 3 glory. We can see a new chest and shoulder pieces here as well, along with a new knee guard design. The AR here also has some yellow highlights, so that seems to have its own coating active too. Next, we have a suit of Mark 7 with an MA40 with the Watchdog skin, the reward for hitting SR-152. Start grinding now if you haven't already. In addition, this Mark 7 features a unique gauntlet or hand armor. This coating also appears on another armor set later on in the update, featuring a Spartan with a new helmet and shoulder pads, and carrying a BR-75. After that, we have the Splinter Desert coating, featuring an armor with chest and leg attachments and the new shotgun. What really stood out here though is the helmet, bearing a striking resemblance to the Chief's Halo 4 and 5 helmet, or alternatively, the Project Cobalt helmet he wears in the books Silent Storm and Oblivion, and the comic Collateral Damage, which canonically actually served as Cortana's inspiration for her changes to the Chief's armor between Halo 3 and 4. It's not one-to-one for either helmet, but seems to be there for fans of the Halo 4 and 5 design. Whether that intent lands, it's for each individual to decide. Finally, we have the Noble Defender skin on what's basically George's armor, the only major difference being the different chest piece. And speaking of the chest, you'll notice that this isn't the same Mark 7 chest with different gear on top, but a different design straight out of Reach. The undersuit too has changed to the Reach undersuit design. Looking back at the previous armors, we can see some slight detail and material changes to the undersuit in each picture, so undersuit customization will be present to some degree. Another detail I enjoy in this image is the presence of visible shield projectors, though not everywhere they should be. Oddly, this is the first image of a Halo Infinite Spartan with active shield projectors. I hope that gets changed for the final game. That covers the armors themselves, but let's take another look at the environments they're presented in. To me, this looks like it may, again, be part of some customization hub, that when customizing our Spartans in the final game, it'll be in an environment like this, just with some UI elements. We can even see the glowing blue table in the background from the weapon screenshots, so I'm actually thinking that maybe this is some kind of social hub where players can hang out? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And that covers this massive update. There's a lot of cool stuff in here, and generally speaking, I'm looking forward to future updates. However, Halo Infinite is still something I'm less excited about than I'd like to be. The game continues to feel like it's alienating fans of some of 343's decisions for the franchise, never mind the whole armor coating fiasco, and little in this update has changed that. Maybe something later on will, but at the moment, I don't have a lot of hype for this. I'm honestly more excited for the books than the games. Hell, I recently ordered that Dark Horse Chief statue, and when it was ready for pickup at my local Best Buy, I just forgot about it, resulting in the order being canceled. And I just didn't care. Looking online, it doesn't look like it's going to be available again, and I just don't care. And that really fucking sucks. The books are great, but I got into Halo for more than just the books. I got into it for the universe, and it sucks that I don't feel that excited for the next main entry in that universe. But what about y'all? How do you feel about this game? Let me know in the comments below. For now, this has been Halo Canon, and I'll see y'all next time. Thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking, subscribing, and even turning on that notification bell so you're right here when a new video drops. Otherwise, thanks for coming by, and keep on being awesome, Canonites.